It's a hassle to take care of you, so just live here." With those words, I sensed the door closing behind me. Then, there was a loud bang, and a bad feeling rushed over me, making me panic.
"Mike! Hey, are you there? Mike!"
I raised my voice in anxiety, but there was no response. The silence of the room only intensified my panic.
"Mike, answer me!" "Ah!"
Being unaccustomed to this wheelchair, I made a mistake maneuvering it and fell out.
"Ouch! Why is this happening?"
If I didn't vocalize my fears, I felt I'd be crushed by them. Where in the world am I? Am I just going to die here, all alone? It was when tears wouldn't stop due to my regret and sadness.
"Catherine!"
With the sound of the door opening, I felt wrapped in warmth. 3 days later. From the TV that she had turned on, there was a feature about some store. As I was listening,
"Hey! What the hell is this?"
the door burst open, and I heard the voice of the person I despised the most. "My name is Catherine. I'm a 32-year-old working woman, doing my best at a major company every day. Ever since I was little, I had a dream. I saw it on TV when I was a child and was totally enchanted. Since then, I've been studying a lot to make that dream come true, and now, I'm working hard every day to save up for it."
"You should work hard, but don't overdo it, okay? Thanks. But working towards my dream is really fun. I bet. I love seeing you enjoying yourself."
The one who said he fell for the hard-working me was my husband, Mike. He was a junior at my company, and our relationship started from him being my trainee. Mike, being smitten by my dedication, asked about my motivations and supported my dreams. Eventually, his persistence paid off, and we started dating. After several years, we got married. Both of us worked at major companies, so even if I set aside some of my salary for my dream, we didn't have any financial issues. Speaking of my dream, I have a companion who chases it with me.
"Catherine, how's it going on your end?" "All good, Emily, how about you?" "Of course. We're just a bit short of our target amount."
My best friend, Emily. I met Emily in high school. We became close friends due to the fact that we shared the same dream, creating a deep bond between us. Since then, Emily and I have been supporting each other, working hard to make our dreams come true one day. Before I knew it, my dream had become our dream. One of my monthly pleasures is checking the balance of my dream savings account. The more money gets saved, the more excited I feel, realizing we're getting closer to our dream. But, when I checked the balance this time, I was in shock. About $5,000 had been withdrawn from the dream savings account. Only 2 people knew of this account's existence: Mike and Emily. And out of them, only Mike knew where the passbook was. I rushed straight home and confronted Mike, who was lounging around.
"Hey! Did you just take out money from my dream savings without asking me?" Yeah, I borrowed some." "Borrowed? You know how hard I've saved for that money, right? Oh, quit nagging. I'll pay it back eventually."
He didn't seem the least bit remorseful, and I was boiling with anger.
"Why's a woman over 30 still chasing dreams? Aren't you being ridiculous? What did you just say?"
Lately, Mike has been mocking my dreams like this. He'd always bring up my age, suggesting that if I have time to chase such dreams, I should support his younger self.
"Mike, you used to support me. Besides, that's no excuse to use my money. We're married, our money is shared, so what's the problem? There's money in there from before we were married. Where did you put my passbook?"
After some pressure, Mike reluctantly handed over the passbook. I need to find a better hiding spot for this now.
"Stop complaining so much. If you have that much saved up, using a little shouldn't be a big deal."
Hearing Mike mutter this, something snapped inside me.
"I cover all our living expenses and rent. I don't need someone who doesn't contribute a dime to criticize me." "What the?"
There's a significant pay difference between Mike and me. Although I started working before him because I'm older, I've maintained the top performance spot. On the other hand, Mike's performance isn't even close, often being outdone by younger colleagues.
The reason for that is your mentor was me, but how many years ago? Whose fault is it that you haven't grown since then? You can't capitalize on youth anymore, so of course, you have to work your tail off to earn a living.
Lately, our interactions have often ended up in arguments like this. Just a few years ago, Mike used to say things like "I support you and keep it up." Did this change after I turned 30? It was around that time he started calling me old lady and constantly bringing up my age. Whenever I tried to argue back, Mike would sulk and ignore me. Eventually, I'd always be the one to apologize. But this time, I wasn't feeling like apologizing. After the big fight with Mike, I called Emily. "I'm sorry, Emily. We promised to save together.
It's Mike's fault. You don't need to worry, Catherine."
Feeling both remorse and gratitude for Emily's forgiving laughter, I apologized again. We were so close to our savings goal, but because of Mike, it felt further away. I let out an involuntary sigh, which Emily probably heard over the phone because she chuckled.
Happiness might be fleeting. Unlike me, you're married, Catherine. Some bumps in the road are to be expected.
$5,000 isn't just some bumps, Emily. I'm glad we kept separate accounts.
Absolutely. We need to be more careful about Mike from now on.
You can say that again. Then, we chit-chatted about trivial things. Until that moment, I hadn't imagined what was to come or thought our friendship could be broken. I was on my usual route to a sales appointment. Reviewing contract details in my mind, I was crossing the pedestrian lane. Suddenly, a car that ran the red light was speeding towards me. Lost in thought, I noticed it too late. A powerful impact, and I felt my body being thrown. Amidst the noise around and the sound of the car leaving, unable to move due to pain, I blacked out.
Catherine! Catherine!
Emily?
Catherine! Are you awake? Hold on, I'm getting the doctor.
Touched by the almost tearful voice of Emily, my consciousness began to return. I tried to open my eyes, but it was pitch black. All I could sense was Emily's frantic movements nearby. Not knowing what had happened, and not being able to move my legs, anxiety filled me. Then, a doctor, summoned by Emily, started explaining.
It might be shocking, but please remain calm. Catherine, your eyes were damaged in the accident.
To cut it short, the accident left me blind, and I'd lost the use of my lower body. From now on, I'd live my life without seeing and confined to a wheelchair.
Why did this happen to me? I was so close.
I was plunged into deep despair. How could I chase the dream we were so close to achieving? Throughout my grief, Emily was always there beside me.
Catherine, I won't give up. I'll work hard for both of us. I'll achieve our dream and present it to you. So don't give up.
Honestly, I thought of giving up on everything. But with Emily's continuous encouragement, I found the strength to rethink things. And then,
Catherine!
Upon hearing I'd regained consciousness, Mike rushed to my side. During my hospital stay, he remained by my side, comforting me, helping distract me from my woes. I felt nothing but gratitude to both of them. However, that was only at first. Emily stopped visiting. Now, being in my current state, I couldn't even contact Emily. What further devastated me was Mike's attitude. At first, he'd engage and chat. But slowly, he'd speak less and visit less. When he'd come to the room, all I'd hear was the tapping on his phone.
Hey, Mike? How's work been lately? Why would that matter to you?
His responses were cold. His attitude deeply hurt me, but what hurt more was Emily's absence. In reality, as a foolproof place Mike couldn't access, I had entrusted Emily with the passbook for our dream savings account. It's a dreadful thought, but had she stopped coming because she'd gotten hold of that passbook? Maybe Mike never really cared about me? With these thoughts, I grew more despondent. Alone in the hospital room, my days were filled with tears. After some time, I was discharged and went home. Frankly, I was filled with anxiety.
It's okay. I'm here for you.
Reassured by Mike's sudden gentleness, I chose to be discharged. Afterward, I got into his car. The distance between my home and the hospital was just a short drive away, barely 10 minutes. But this drive was clearly taking longer.
Mike? Where are we headed?
There's a place I want to stop by.
But I
wanted to head straight home, and I felt apprehensive about traveling without my sight. Sensing my reluctance, Mike spoke in a soft tone.
There's a place that'll help take your mind off things, even if you can't see. It's related to your dream, you know?
My dream. The first person who came to mind upon hearing that was Emily. She had promised to achieve it on my behalf. She said she'd make my dream come true and present it to me. I hate to tell you this, Catherine, but Emily betrayed you.
What? Emily did? What do you mean?
Mike's words had me shaken. And I couldn't help but reply with a trembling voice. In truth, after Emily got hold of your passbook, she disappeared. I've been searching for her ever since. I apologize for taking my frustration out on you in the hospital. According to Mike, his aloof behavior was because he had been looking for Emily. The constant tapping on his phone was him contacting everyone he knew, trying to gather eyewitness accounts. At that moment, I couldn't fathom the betrayal and my thoughts came to a standstill. Normally, I would have picked up on any inconsistencies.
But I finally found her. Let's confront her together.
All right. And I found myself agreeing. The car ride continued for what felt like hours. How far had we traveled? My anxiety peaked when Mike finally announced.
We're here.
The car stopped. With Mike's help, I got out of the car, and I felt being wheeled into a building.
Mike, where are we? I don't sense anyone else here. Obviously, because this is an abandoned house. What?
I sensed Mike moving away. Panicking, I tried to locate him but to no avail. Suddenly, fear overtook me.
Mike! Where are you?
Behind me, I heard Mike laughing.
You're a hassle. Just live here.
With that, I felt a door being shut behind me, followed by the distinct sound of a lock. A dreadful feeling overcame me, and I began to panic.
Mike! Are you there? Mike!
My calls were met with silence. In the deafening quiet, my panic escalated.
Mike, please! Ah!
Unable to navigate with my unfamiliar wheelchair, I tumbled over. I accidentally mishandled the wheelchair and tumbled out of it.
It hurts! Why?
I felt that if I didn't speak, my fear would overcome me. Where was I? Would I die alone, abandoned? As despair threatened to drown me and tears flowed freely, a familiar voice broke the silence.
Catherine!
The door opened, and I felt wrapped in warmth.
I'm so sorry, Catherine. Emily. Is that you, Emily?
The arms that held me trembled, and I felt dampness on my right shoulder. Was Emily crying while holding me? But why?
What on earth is going on?
Everything's going to be okay now. Emily's reassuring voice drowned out my confusion and questions. And just like that, I found myself under Emily's protection. 3 days later. From the TV Emily had set up for me, a feature on a particular shop was airing. As I listened closely.
Hey! What the hell is this?
With the sound of the door being swung open, I heard the voice of the person I detest the most in this world.
Well, look who decided to show up. Catherine, you okay? Yeah, absolutely. I've got a bone to pick too.
From the sound of it, Mike was clearly panicking. Emily and I confronted him.
Why the hell are you alive? Because I saved her, obviously.
That day, Emily had gotten to the abandoned house before us and hid nearby, waiting for us to arrive. And after confirming that Mike had left, she came to my rescue.
You said you betrayed Catherine. I did. But not Catherine. The one I betrayed was you, Mike.
Actually, right after that accident, Mike started to get close to Emily, trying to date her. Despite him showing concern for me, I felt a deep mistrust toward Mike for his advances on her.
You realized I had Catherine's dream savings passbook, right? And you were after my own savings too.
She had caught onto his scheme. Refusing him outright was easy, but she worried that he might harm me. So Emily decided to play along with Mike's scheme, pretending to betray me.
What's that about?
Seemed like Mike was shocked, not expecting to have been fooled. Emily had moved her savings to a different account, and to gain his trust, she handed over the emptied passbook to Mike. Her strategy of keeping him from using the funds in the passbook was really admirable. While Mike was off guard, she went ahead and bought the abandoned house he had left me in.
If you leave her in that abandoned house, she'll never be found. That way, everyone will think she just disappeared because she couldn't handle the situation.
She had instigated Mike with that idea. As a result, Mike, without any suspicions, left me in the abandoned house, and I was safely retrieved by Emily.
You were so gullible, Mike. Thanks to you, we could achieve our dream of opening our vintage cafe.
Yes, our dream was to run a vintage cafe. Emily had renovated the bought abandoned house, and it had its grand opening just yesterday. And until a while ago, they were doing a live TV broadcast of it. What had been playing on TV was from that time. Mike probably saw the broadcast in real time and rushed over.
That can't be, I can't have been deceived. Excuse me.
As Mike was in a state of shock, there was a sound of a group entering the cafe. Emily whispered to me that it was the police. Apparently, she had called them.
We need to discuss the matter of Miss Catherine. I didn't. Here, this is the evidence. Please take it. Thank you for your cooperation.
After that, I heard Mike being taken away by the police, shouting loudly. I thought I heard him call out for my help, but I ignored it.
He's gone. Yes.
With Mike gone, the cafe went silent.
Catherine? What's wrong?
I'm sorry, give me a moment. I couldn't help but cry. We had finally achieved our dream of opening the vintage cafe. I had worked so hard to create a relaxing space for everyone. Despite that, considering my current state, not only managing the cafe but even being a burden to Emily was on my mind. Right now, we might have customers because we're new, but there's no guarantee they'll keep coming. With these thoughts, I couldn't stop crying. There's still hope. Maybe I can still see. In fact, I had eye surgery at the time of the accident. Because of that, I currently wear an eye patch. However, the possibility of being blind is high, and even if not, I was told my vision would be significantly impaired. With my lower body paralyzed, the suspicion of Emily's betrayal, and Mike's attitude, my weakened state prevented me from removing this eye patch, making me believe I had lost my vision.
I kept my promise to make our dream come true. So, let's go to the hospital together.
I nodded in response. And on our day off, Emily took me to the hospital. When the eye patch was removed, I was able to perceive light.
With some adjustments, like glasses, you should be fine.
The doctor's words brought great joy to Emily. Honestly, I couldn't see her expression. But I thought I'd give it another shot and keep pushing a bit longer. After that, I divorced Mike. Thanks to Emily's thorough investigation, the reason for Mike's outrageous behavior came to light. Mike had been cheating on me with a younger colleague. Moreover, that very woman was the one who had hit me with her car. Both of them were arrested for their respective crimes and had to pay me a hefty settlement.
He made my best friend suffer. I'm never gonna forgive him, Emily said. Emily, calm down. Without you doing anything, he's already headed straight to hell.
During an interview, I accidentally mentioned why I ended up like this. And also about being left behind by Mike. Naturally, Mike got fired. Even if he's released, hellish days await him. On the other hand, things were going well for me. Thanks to the settlement, I could buy some good glasses. With my vision restored, my motivation skyrocketed. Being in a wheelchair hadn't changed, but the list of things I could do had increased considerably. All the crafts sold at our shop are handmade by me, and I continue to make more even during administrative work hours. These crafts are popular among customers and have been a source of profit for the shop. With the shop booming, I had completely forgotten about Mike. Then, one day before opening, he came by.
Catherine, I'm truly sorry.
We ignored him and carried on with our usual pre-opening routine. Hey, you, a customer called out to him.
Huh? Aren't you the guy who left his wife? What the heck are you doing here, showing your face so shamelessly?
Mike, feeling the pressure from the customer's glare, left in a hurry. I smiled in gratitude to the customer.
Thank you, Robert. No problem, glad I was here early.
Robert was a regular at our shop and had been the cameraman when the TV crew visited. He continued to support us as a customer after the broadcast.
I'll be making some drinks today. Please make sure to order one, I said. Really? I'm looking forward to it. You two are quite obvious, aren't you?
Emily chuckled, sensing something between us. Thinking back, I'm truly glad I agreed to that interview.
Now, we need to make sure he never shows up again, I remarked. Oh, I can recommend a good lawyer for that, Robert offered.
Thank you, we'd really appreciate that. I can't waste any more time on a guy like that. I must work hard for our customers. Soon, I was back to being engrossed in my work, with the two of them watching over me with kind eyes. Some time later, Robert remarked.
You look so happy today. Something good happened? Yes, actually, I received a letter the other day.
The letter mentioned how my work had been an inspiration for many. That made me incredibly happy.
When you smile like that, you're so beautiful, Catherine. I've come to really like you. Would you consider dating me?
His confession took me by surprise. To be honest, I felt the same way about him. But there was my condition to consider. I explained my situation, and he said it didn't matter to him. Even so, I wanted to take some time to think.
I just want you to be happy, Emily remarked. That's not so simple, I replied. Just make sure you don't have any regrets. Yes, thank you.
Life was pretty smooth sailing for me. Mike, on the other hand, ended up in debt. He managed to find a job, but it was low paying, and he was overworked. Additionally, the family of his affair partner was giving him a hard time. They demanded he take responsibility for getting involved with their daughter. Well, all I can do is cheer him on from a distance. After all, he brought it upon himself. I'd be troubled if he relied on me now. Thanks to the lawyer, Mike couldn't reach out to me for help and seemed to be struggling quite a bit.
He brought it on himself,
Emily murmured as she looked over some information a private investigator had found. I agreed with her sentiment. Later on, I remarried Robert. He accepted everything about me, and I chose to respond to his feelings. While Emily celebrated our union, she too had someone special in her life. She mentioned a man who helped with the renovations of the old house into a cafe. Apparently, they had mutual feelings for each other for some time but were hesitant because of their age difference. Learning about our relationship encouraged her to pursue her own happiness.
It's all thanks to you, Catherine, Emily said. And I owe all my happiness to you, Emily.
If I had been alone, I would have given up on life a long time ago. I'm truly grateful for having Emily by my side.
Will you continue to stand by me from now on? I asked her. Of course. I finally feel like I've repaid the favor.
Confused by her words, I tilted my head.
You saved me during our school days, Emily explained. Huh?
Apparently, Emily had felt isolated in middle school. When we met in high school, I'd been kind to her, and that changed everything. Because I believed in her dreams and supported her, she felt motivated to keep going. Hearing this, I felt tears form in my eyes. I decided that we should continue to cherish the bond between us.